What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's slow and stretchy workout. We have got an 8-minute AMRAP, which means as many rounds and reps as possible in 8 minutes. And what you're going to be doing, we are going to do 10 plow to pike rolls, then 10 90-90s, and then 1 minute seated straddle hold. And then you're going to go back and do it all again and again and again, and as many times as you can in 8 minutes. But the thing I want you to think about, this isn't necessarily about getting as many rounds and reps as you can. Yes, you want to do stuff, but there is no number score. You get a check mark for completing the workout. So if you get through 2 rounds, awesome. If you get through 4 rounds and feel amazing, awesome. It is not about accumulating as many rounds as quickly as you can. It's about getting the most out of these stretches and out of these movements. If it takes you longer because something feels really good and you want to hold it, go for it. If you're like, nah, I don't get much out of this stretch, so I'm going to go a little faster through these and then hold the others, awesome. Make this workout your own because this is going to be a great stretch for the lower body, some core work. It's just going to be all awesome. You ready to get stretchy? We're going to be doing a plow to a pike roll. So everything is going to be on the ground. Now, a plow pose, we would roll back and we try to get our feet behind us as much as possible. And then we're going to roll up and we're going to roll into a pike. So we're sending ourselves backwards in a pike and then forward in a pike. And basically a pike just means our legs are together. So if going all the way overhead is not happening, I can't touch my toes to the ground, and that's okay. I want you guys just to get as much of a roll backwards as you can. So maybe that's your plow, and that's okay. Wherever you can go here, try to get those hips off the ground, but that's gonna look different for everybody, and that's totally fine. So we're gonna roll backwards wherever we can, and then as we come up into that pike, feet together, knees stay straight. I don't want you bending your knees in order to get to your toes. So we're gonna keep our knees together, point your toes, flex your toes, it don't matter. We're gonna keep ourselves nice and stretched and reach as far as we can to those toes. So again, this may be your pike position, that's okay. You may have a lot of flexibility and can reach farther on your toes than I can. That is also okay. This is a flowing movement, so we're going to try to get as much momentum, controlled momentum as we can to flow and then into a plow. So plow to pike equals 1 rep, and we'll be doing 10 of those today. So when we do this, we just go back, up, and over. If you need some support from your hands to help get you back up like that, that's also okay. Whatever you need to do to make that work, to feel that core going backwards, controlling the legs, and then stretching the hamstrings and the glutes into the pike position. This one should feel pretty good. For the 90-90s, this is where we bend our legs and we're gonna switch from side to side. So I'm gonna put my left leg is gonna be bent this direction with my foot facing forward, and then my right leg is gonna be at a 90-degree here with the shin facing forward. So we're in this position. So both of my legs, it's like if I was in a lunge. This would be about 90 degrees, this would be about 90 degrees. And then all I'm gonna do is switch. So I'm gonna go through the middle position and put them the other direction. So now my right knee and my right foot is pointing forward while my left shin is pointing forward. I get my rights and lefts confused. Super sorry. So we're gonna go right here. That would be 1. Then we're gonna switch through that middle position into 2, and then up, and then back into 3. Now, this may not be a lot of a stretch for you. It might be, and if this mobility and just opening up your hips is what feels good, rock with it. Just do that. If you need a little bit more, like for me, this doesn't do a whole lot for my hips. So what I try to do is open my chest a little bit and open it up to this side, and that stretches a little more into my hip flexor, and it gets kind of a little more of a stretch there. Then when I'm on the other side, I'm going to do the same thing. I kind of open up and push my hip forward so that it stretches that flexor. If you still need a little bit more of an extra stretch from there, take whichever shin in that direction you're going and bring that arm over, and it'll not only give you a little more stretch here, it's also gonna stretch your upper arm. It gives you a little more stretch in the lower leg because you're leaning and kind of putting a little pressure on that. And then we do the same thing on the other side, up and lean over if you want. So those are all just some extra additions. Side to side, these may just be enough. Right here, you can totally use your hands behind you to support your turn. That is absolutely fine. Your hands start to kind of help you walk a little bit, and that's okay too. I'm not real confident, and my knees and hips and back don't really like moving on their own, so I always use some support with my hands as I switch from 90-90. So just work within your mobility and your flexibility so you can get stronger. The last thing is a 1 minute straddle hold. Now this one can be tricky for a lot of people, especially if you have really, really tight hamstrings. So you've seen gymnasts do these. We're just gonna straddle out our legs and hold. So if this may be as much of a stretch as you can do, awesome. If you're super bendy flexible, I no longer am, we're gonna kind of try to lay forward. The goal one day is your chest to the ground. So if you think about it that way, that's where we're going. But our goal for right now is to work with where we're at and eventually progress closer to the big goal at the end of laying flat. And I am very, very far from that goal, trust me. So it's okay if you are too. The thing I want you guys to keep in mind, for a lot of people, straddles end up being like this because we're super tight right here, or if we can get these stretched, our lower back is like, ooh, not happening. So we either have a bent curved back, or we can sit upright and have to bend our knees. We don't want either of those. So we are gonna try to work and get them both straight and straight. And one of the best ways to do that is to brace yourself. So it doesn't matter how wide your straddle is. This may be it, and that's okay. It'll eventually get wider. So get yourself, if you have to start right here to get them flat, that's fine. Then what I want you to do is just walk yourself up and try to hold yourself right here. You may need to bring those knees in a little bit or the legs in a little bit so the straddle isn't quite as wide, but that's okay. That's teaching your core to hold upright against forces it doesn't really want to. So this should help you. If it doesn't, you can also back up against a wall or something that will keep, sorry, I'm on the screen right there, a wall or a chair or a couch or something that will help keep you upright, but try your best to keep your chest up, your back straight, and your legs straight. Makes sense? So this is a good one. It's a minute hold, so breathe through whatever you need to, work in your range of motion and flexibility. Try to give yourself grace if you're not quite where you want to be yet, because eventually you will be, I promise. All right, guys, I'm gonna encourage you to pause this video, take a second to try to figure out how you're gonna do these movements, and then come on back, we'll get to it. Welcome back, everybody. Are you ready? We've got an 8-minute AMRAP. We are going to do 10 plow to pike rolls, then 10 90-90s, and then a 1 minute straddle hold. And that's one round. Then you're going to go back and do it again and again, as many rounds as you can in those 8 minutes. Keeping in mind, this is about form. This is about stretching. It is not about accumulating as many, really for a number, as many rounds as you can. It is, and just getting through it. It is about getting better. So sometimes slower equals better. Guys, you ready? All right, guys, we've got 10 seconds and we're gonna do 10 plow rolls. Yours may be faster or slower than mine. That's okay. Here we go.
1, go.
Modify as you need to. Remember, you may not be able to roll back as far, and that is absolutely okay. You may be farther than me, which is okay too. After your 10 rolls, you've got 10 90-90s. Again, you may be ahead of me, you may be behind me, and that's okay. You got it, guys. All right, I'm moving into my straddle hold. So if you are behind me or ahead of me, hopefully you're keeping an eye on the clock for yourself because you've got a minute as well. Try to breathe into that hold, try to release tension. I know it's tight, but try to release any tension and just breathe into that hold, wherever that hold is for you. Once you're done with that minute hold, you start back at the beginning. Plough holds and 90-90. Plough rolls and 90-90. For me. Now I'm going into my straddle hold.
1 minute remaining.
Just get as far as you can, guys. All right. Looks like I'm gonna finish probably on plow. We'll see.
Ten seconds remaining. Three, two, one, done.
Nice work, everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed that. It was just a quick, anytime, anywhere stretch routine that doesn't take up much of your time or your day or space or any of the above. So hopefully you feel good, feel a little more stretched out, relaxed, and you know what? Ready to do it all again another day. So I'll see you then. Bye.